Okay, what's up guys? So this video I'm about to show you just popped up in my feed yesterday. It's actually a video of former Seahawks D lineman Michael Bennett from a couple weeks ago on his podcast right after Richard Sherman called out Russ on national TV. So I'm only making this video now because of the whole Russell Wilson-Sean Payton drama just happened this past week, and a lot of people are talking about Russ and how everyone has been attacking him, including former teammates. But Michael Bennett actually defended Russ and kind of called out Sherm in this video. This is from his podcast Third and Long, which is with Eric Armstead. Anyways, have a listen to what he said.
Speaking about Russ and this Jackson Dart situation, how do you feel about like your former teammates' space in the media and like talking about each other? You know, you've been pretty vocal about how you feel about Russ. Sherm recently on Thursday Night Football was on the topic of Russell Wilson and discussing his career and what he did without you guys' legendary defense and how his career has kind of gone. And there's been other mention of that Russell is messing up his Hall of Fame career and that he's playing himself out of the Hall of Fame. How do you feel about teammates talking about one another? And, you know, how do you feel about Russell Wilson in this season in general? You know, him being benched and Jackson Dart giving that spark to that team?
Look, I think it's important as if once you become a member of the media to be very critical and be able to have an honest opinion and be able to say things that, you know, that aren't controversy, but maybe could be, you know, honest, just real honest, right? I think it's definitely a misconception that Russell is not a Hall of Famer. I think if you look at the statistics, if you look at the Pro Bowls, you look at all the things that he's kind of accomplished, I don't think you could play your way out of a Hall of Fame career. If you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't take about the way that Russell has carried himself on and off the field. I think Russell kind of represents exactly what you kind of want in an NFL player when you look at it. You know, maybe he's not the cool guy who's doing certain things that's pop culture, but if you think about what he's done on the field as a player, he's won. You think about what he's done off the field, he's won. He's been NFL Man of the Year. He's been charitable. He does everything right. I think that, you know, Sherm's kind of statement, I think there's some more animosity. I think that I actually saw Tony Gonzalez in the airport the other day when I was coming back from LA. I wanted to ask him about it, but I didn't because, you know, he looked like he was in a rush. But I don't think that's right. I think if we did that for everybody, every player, that means that Russell Westbrook isn't a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? That means that we have to say that anybody that has Carmelo Anthony his last 2 years or
right. Anybody that keeps playing past their prime is no longer a Hall of Famer, like, because they're diminished. Like, yeah, I don't agree with it either.
I think it's an unfair statement. I think there's something that Russell and Sherm need to go to some type of like marriage counseling or something where they just kind of both get in there and just hash it out, because I think Sherm's assessment of Russell's career is unfair. I think, you know, like, Russell has done everything he needed to do. I think he hasn't had the success over the last couple of years to be able to, you know, be considered one of those old school greats. I mean, be still great at what the level that he was, like how Tom left from New England and went to Tampa Bay, then won a championship. So I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, I think I'm going to say Russell is a Hall of Famer. If somebody like Eli Manning's in the Hall of Fame, if Phillip Rivers is in the Hall of Fame, it's like right. Some of these guys never even won championships. At least Russell's been to 2. I mean, it's been a year since he's been. We had a black president the last time, you know, he went to the Super Bowl. But at the same time, you know, he has had a great career.
You don't got as much animosity as some of your other teammates. So maybe that's on you to set up that marriage counseling between Russell and Sherm.
Okay, I love this response from Michael Bennett because all this shitting on Russ from past teammates to me just feels like hate. It just seems like they don't like him for whatever reason, whether it's him being corny or Pete Carroll favoring Russ. It always felt that the core group of guys on that team did not like Russ for what he represented. Because at the end of the day, Richard Sherman always wants to call out Russ by saying what he has done since the Legion of Boom left. Well, what has Richard Sherman done since he left Seattle? He wasn't the corner that he was in Seattle. He didn't have that safety help with the likes of Earl Thomas or Cam Chancellor. But since the end of the Legion of Boom in 2018, Russ continued to lead the team almost single-handedly to the playoffs for 3 consecutive seasons. During those 3 years, Russ had a 33-15 record and threw for 106 touchdowns and only 25 interceptions. Anyways, with that said, what do you think about Michael Bennett's comments?